I've mentioned the term time locking a few times, but if you haven't given this much thought, it can be a confusing concept. So let's unpack the concept of time locking. Time locking is a concept where access to something, be it funds, data, or a resource, is restricted until a specified time in the future. The mechanism ensures that whatever is time locked cannot be accessed or used until the predetermined condition is met. Before I talk about how or what Bucky time locked, let's answer the question regarding why Bucky would want to time lock anything. Why would you want to postpone an idea into the future when you could act on it now? That was the exact problem Bucky was facing. Not only did Bucky understand the systemic issues with the existing monetary system, he could conceptualize the solution. The problem needed a systemic solution that has several different parts, and a key piece of the solution were computers. While computers were starting to be available, he understood they would not have the necessary functionality or saturation during his lifetime. The problem with articulating the solution for everyone to see is that there were many people in powerful positions that had a lot to lose. So if the solution was widely shared, it would get stopped before it had sufficient momentum. Proof that this was a conscious effort and not a coincidence by Bucky is found in a book that was never published. Instead, it was found in a manuscript in the middle of an uncharacteristically tidy desk the day he died. It was addressed to his daughter and grandson and began, "If something happens to me and I should die suddenly," he was 87 at this point, "I want you to know the extraordinary importance of my now being written book." In this book, he writes, "In order to avoid arousing the fears and consequent active opposition of the powerful financial, religious, and political interests who might foresee in my artifacts revolution the obsolescence of their own profitable products or services, I deliberately design far into the future. I confined my complex of omni-intercomplementary artifact designing to function only within a socio-economic era so many technological evolutional stages further ahead in the future as to render the only synergetically effective interfunctioning of the many seemingly uninterrelated artifacts entirely unanticipatable by the overspecialized viewpoints of the world's most astute masters or of their most far-sighted advisors." He goes on to say, for instance, who in 1927 could foresee the intercomplementation of my various invention? While this is packed with wordy sentences typical of Fuller, and there is evidence that this was intentional as well, he is essentially revealing that his life's work is not about many scattered ideas as it appears on its surface, but rather a comprehensive strategy intended to liberate posterity of the existing, but invisible, control structure. He understood that this systemic level change would not happen overnight, and it needed momentum to get off the ground. To quote, "As the world political economic emergencies increase, remember that we have discovered a way to make the total world work. It must be initiated and in strong momentum before we pass the point of no return." He understood that humanity had one shot at making this transition, and that if he tried in this current state, it would likely not make it past the existing power structures. His clever solution was to effectively break up the solution into independent pieces and talk about them in the future tense, knowing it would avoid attention of those in power, and that someone, when the time was right, he estimated roughly 50 years, would be able to piece it back together. It was a rudimentary form of what we now refer to as the difficulty adjustment. Think of it like breaking apart a puzzle. Puzzles come with different numbers of pieces, like 100, 500, or 1,000. The more pieces, the longer it takes to put together. Bucky sufficiently broke up his body of work across his architecture and writing. He called them artifacts, and on their surface they may seem like independent ideas, but really they are individual pieces of a bigger puzzle. Regarding his artifacts, he said, "I sought to develop my artifacts with ample anticipatory time margins so that they would be ready for use by society when society discovered, through evolutionary emergencies, that they needed just what I had developed." He wanted to ensure the pieces were available, but did not want to put the puzzle together yet. He said that was the job of someone in the future. To quote, "Designing the new accounting system is the task of the comprehensive anticipatory design scientist." Sure enough, Satoshi Nakamoto eventually put the pieces together.